Okay, so I was listening to Connected the other day.
Sure.
And it was the episode. Do you listen to Connected?
I do listen to Connected all the time.
Okay. It's the episode where I don't remember.
Where Steven fixed the order of the introducing with Mike and Federico.
Thank you. How did you know I was going to say that? So they do it where Steven always does the intro, and on odd episodes, Mike goes first, and on even episodes, Federico goes first. And I was just looking, and I see that on odd episodes, you have been going first, and on even episodes, I have been going first. However, this doesn't work when we have a bonus or an A or B episode.
Uh-huh. Yep. Okay.
Unless we just follow the rule of the last numbered episode is the person that gets to introduce. And it doesn't flip-flop.
So sometimes
you
get to go twice in a row?
Yeah, and sometimes you get to go twice in a row.
Ah, okay. All right.
Or we actually start numbering every episode.
Also an option. We could do that. I'm okay with that.
Right? Because we called the Spider-Man episode was a bonus episode, but it very well could have been just, P&A next bonus Spider spoiler cast.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I only did it as bonus, named it as bonus because that's what we had done for Endgame 2 years ago. But
right.
We don't have to follow that precedent. We could say from this point forward, we will number all of them sequentially.
I'm okay with that. Let's do that. Every episode gets its own number, even if it's only a minute and a half long and we don't want anyone to share it.
It is so decided.
We are starting rules on our podcast. Can you feel it?
Yep. We need a document.
Okay. Chris starts
P&A Parliament.
Odd episodes. Jason starts even episodes. It is so written. Welcome to Pride and Accomplishment. My name is Jason.
And I'm Chris. This is episode 68.
Chris, February needs to take a chill pill.
Yes, we are halfway through February as we record this. Well, not quite halfway, but just about. And there's a lot going on this month.
Yeah, and so we tried to write down everything that's going on. And I'm now realizing that everything we wrote down is in the second half of February. So the second half of February needs to take a chill pill.
Yeah, so far it's been pretty chill, but definitely looking forward to the back half of the month.
Has it, Chris?
Oh, for games,
Are you
it
chill?
Has been. No, I'm not chill. That's a whole nother story for a different time.
My first game has already released, and I'm already feeling the pressure.
Oh, I've just been very busy in my personal life for the past 2 weeks, so I'm really, really looking forward to next week when I'm not traveling and don't have anything going on, and I can really curl up with a good video game, hopefully.
Yeah. So I think what I would like to do is not spend super amount of time just reading off release dates, but I think it's important to kind of give context to what we're talking about. So I'm gonna do it real fast, and maybe you can add color commentary where you want. I'll start kind of with we're recording on the 10th, so starting right at the top, Lost Ark. Early release was on the 8th and truly comes out free to play on the 11th. Horizon Forbidden West, PS5 game, PS4 game. The sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn comes out on February 18th.
Cannot wait.
That's the one you're excited about, right?
That one, I am so excited about that. February 18th, next Friday as we record this. I am very excited. I just finished the first one. I just finished Horizon Zero Dawn 2 weeks ago. Because I finally picked it back up and was like, oh, the sequel's coming out. I better get on this. I'm very excited for this. It looks like they've just taken everything and, turned it up to, I don't know, maybe not 11, but maybe 11. And to me, this is the first real made for, other than maybe Miles Morales and Ratchet and Clank, cinematic made for PS5 kind of game.
Is it made for PS5 though?
We've had this conversation before, but yes, it's made for PS5, but also PS4. And I'm encouraged. I think it's going to be really good. All of the games that are coming out in this first couple years of the PS5 are for both. So you kind of have to just hope that they're going to do a good job.
I we should probably swing back around this. I have not yet played Horizon Zero Dawn. It is the next game on my single player list. And I have avoided everything there is to do with Horizon Forbidden West because I'm afraid of spoilers. This is such a story rich game that, I don't want to see what, I know what the Forbidden West is just because I understand like parts of the story that maybe I shouldn't know. But I don't want to know anymore. I don't know what, I don't want to, why is, I don't want to like why, where, who, I don't want to, none of it. I don't want to see a trailer for Forbidden West. So I'm trying to avoid it as much as possible. And it's been kind of hard to stay hyped and avoid it at the same time, but I really need to play Horizon Zero Dawn first.
Absolutely. I would say that is by far a good order to go with. You can jump into the second one first, but I wouldn't.
I'm not going to.
There's so much, like, I apparently had turned off the first game, like, I don't know, an hour before it got like extremely good from a story perspective before. Like I bought it when it came out and then I played it for a while, kind of slowly, clipped through it here and there. But like, then I was like, oh, this is whatever. I'll get back to this eventually. And then like, I don't know, I played Uncharted Lost Legacy or something. Something else came out and I did that. And then I forgot about Horizon for a while. And every time I tried to pick it up, I was like, oh, I don't remember all the buttons. Like, what am I doing? And then finally I just sat down and I was like, I'm going to play this again. And I did. And I was maybe even less than an hour away from like the big like twist and story reveals and all sorts of cool stuff. So power through it would be my advice.
Yeah, I know where it leads, so I will for sure. I'm excited for you. I'm excited. I got to catch up though because I want to talk about the game with you.
My biggest decision now is to whether I buy Horizon on digital or physical copy.
Why does it
matter?
A decision?
Because it's just
no, it does matter. I just like what's. Oh God, maybe that's a whole nother topic. How do you decide?
Well, and that's the thing is, so it's a big single player game, and it's one of those things that's like, oh, this would look nice on a shelf. Like, I have like Horizon Zero Dawn in a PS4 case, and then I could have Horizon Forbidden West next to it as like a PS5 case. That would be cool.
That's the pack rat in you coming out.
It really is. On the other hand, I don't keep my PlayStation games like displayed anywhere. I keep them in a drawer underneath my TV. So there's no like show off ability to it anyway. Like there's no display option, or I could put it on a bookshelf, I guess. But it's not like it's, oh yeah, I got to put this on my collector's shelf. That's not really like a thing for me. But I have the first one, and it's like, well, but if I can get the disc one, ultimately, if I could get the disc one on a sale, obviously that would make it a no-brainer. But
you're not going to get it on sale though. You need it on release day,
right? And that's my other thing is like I need it or want it on release day because I want to play it like that weekend, next weekend. And in that case, I don't know that I care if it's digital or physical. Like I bought Ratchet and Clank digital. I got Returnal digital. It's nice not to have to change discs, I will say. But something like this, I'll just put it in the PS5 if I have the disc and just leave it there until I'm done with the game. Then I'll take it out, put it back in the case and move on. Like Gran Turismo, I know, spoiler, but Gran Turismo, I know that I'm going to get digitally because I'm going to want to be able to jump in, jump out of that one. And like, cause that's the kind of game that it is. And so I'll play it in between other things. But for big single player games,
do you still have to put the discs in for games that you buy on disc?
Yeah, obviously.
It doesn't just like install the whole game on your PS5?
No, it does that, but then it uses the disc as like a DRM check.
Oh.
So like, because otherwise I could buy it, I could mail you the disc, you could install it, mail it back to me, and then we both could play the game or whatever. Right? I guess. They would only ever sell one copy of any game.
Maybe two. Yeah, okay, I guess. Fine. Okay, I want to move on because I actually want to talk about like not just the games that are coming out, but like the ideas of release dates. Destiny 2, which I don't think either of us have chosen to pick up this expansion, at least not near release date. Destiny 2, the Witch King expansion comes out on February 22nd. Elden Ring, which I'm not personally excited about, but I am actually interested in watching someone else play, comes out on the 25th.
I'm not exactly excited about Elden Ring. It's interesting, these two games, though, they're coming out so close to each other. Like, that's 3 days difference, and 4 days after Horizon.
Yeah, and let's just throw the last one in there. Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons comes out February 28th, which is 3 days after Elden Ring. Like, though that 10-day period is jam-packed. Well, no, I mean, yeah, that it's just, I mean, the 18th to the 28th, and those are just the ones we've listed.
Right, those are the ones that we care about.
Yeah, like that 10-day period is crazy. The people that are, and I'm going to throw this in there, the people that are like truly impacted by this are like the variety streamers, on Twitch. They're just like, what do I play? Like, what do I do? I want to play Elden Ring, but I want to play Guild Wars 2, but I want to play Horizon Forbidden. Like, what do I do? Because they won't finish the game in 3 days, but they need to be there for the hype of the next game. And that, that trickles down to a bunch of other people.
I think as a normal person, I have made a very conscious decision to just pick my games, right? So Horizon Forbidden West is my next like big story game. Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons, I've already pre-ordered it forever ago, so I'll play that here and there and a decent bit when it comes out. But I'm not like, I don't know, I'm not really super swept up in that one. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. But
yeah, no, I get it. I'm a little bit more excited than you are. That's fine. It's always been that way for Guild Wars.
And then Elden Ring, I'm not really at all interested in. Like, I want to like these kinds of fantasy RPG games, and I just find that I don't get into them. Like, especially like unless it's Final Fantasy, I just don't get into Western RPGs. Like, I tried Dragon Age way back in the day, and I dropped it after 2 hours. I've never really played Skyrim, gotten into it at all.
I'm not interested in playing it. I am interested in watching someone else play it, because I've never liked the Dark Souls games because they aren't, they aren't like open world story kind of, they miss an element of gaming for me that I really enjoy. However, I'm really into like the soup, like I think I've said it on this podcast before. I do like hard content that you really need to figure out how to win, right? That is actually kind of interesting, like gameplay to me, and putting those two things in theory together seems interesting to me. Not enough for me to play it, but definitely enough for me to watch it.
Well, you'll have to let me know how it is, because I'll probably be playing Horizon when Elden Ring comes out.
I may be as well, just not the same Horizon.
I'll watch your stream of Horizon.
There you go. God, I watched you play a little bit, but every time it was like even close to a spoiler, I was like, I gotta turn it off.
And I wasn't even doing anything interesting.
I know. I just, I don't. Do you want to give your honorable mention here? It's not actually February, but it's really mixed up in all of this.
Yeah. So the thing that I'm really looking forward to Horizon, and then as I mentioned before, I'm really looking forward to Gran Turismo 7 for, I don't know, reasons. It's a very strange thing. I know that like racing games and especially driving simulators are very divisive as games. Like, people who like them really, really like them, and people who don't really, really don't. I am in the middle of that. I played Gran Turismo on the PS1. Like, Gran Turismo 2, I think, was one of my first games on the PlayStation. And then I had Gran Turismo 3 on the PS2, or maybe it was Gran Turismo 4. And then I just fell off of it. Like, I didn't ever get a chance to get back into it. But I remember, like, I have very fond memories of playing Gran Turismo. And I look forward to a modern take on that with photorealistic graphics and the DualSense controller on the PS5, which is really, really good. So all of that should be very exciting.
Yeah, it didn't really click for me until you said Gran Turismo is the Forza of PlayStation. And then I actually kind of got excited about it. Like, I'm excited to see what it is and experience a released recently Gran Turismo, just because I've never played a Gran Turismo game, but I know I like Forza Horizon, and I kind of like Forza Motorsport. So I'm interested to see if Gran Turismo is like the thing that would make, the thing that I would enjoy equally or differently in that genre.
Yeah, I think that Gran Turismo, I mean, it's very different than Forza Horizon. Forza Horizon is very arcadey. Gran Turismo is their tagline is the real driving simulator. Like that's their thing. And so if you're expecting something that's like easy to drive, this isn't it. But you just said that you like hard games. So there's a thing in Gran Turismo called the license test.
Oh, that sounds so interesting to me.
The way it used to be, and I don't know if it is in the new game, is that there were 10 courses that, like 10 lessons or whatever you want to say, that would teach you different things about driving a real car. And it would be like, oh, when you come into a turn, you should put on the brakes and then you should accelerate out of the turn, which is like something that people do in real life when you drive anyway. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing about this is I very distinctly remember when I had Gran Turismo, whatever it was for the PS2, I was doing the license test and I was getting really frustrated and like doing these things. And then I remember my dad, like, I don't know, walked by and he like looked at it and I was complaining about how this was really hard. And he was like, oh yeah, of course you brake, coming into a turn and you accelerate coming out of it. And that's because he had a driver's license at that point and I didn't. And so now I've been driving for many, many years. And I think I'm hoping that I kind of understand some of the things they were trying to teach a little bit better and it makes a little more sense. But like, this is the kind of thing where they set up little cones on the course. And like, if you tap a cone, you're disqualified and you have to try again. Like, it's really like precise. And I don't know, that can be frustrating, but it can be kind of fun to get that level of like mastery to it as well.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've always liked I'll call them tests in games. I know it's nothing similar to what you just described, but I love the idea of in Warframe you have to take a test to level up, and many of them are pretty like not very hard, right? But just the idea that like you're only allowed to take this test once a day.
Oh, wow.
And if you fail, you have to wait 24 hours and you're not allowed to level up until you pass this test. I just love the pressure of that. And while, a driver's test or whatever within a racing game isn't quite the same, I like the idea of saying like, these skills will help you when you're racing, and we're going to kind of validate that you know how to do them and that you can do them. And we're going to give you, this digital driver's license when you've proven yourself.
And the thing of that is that they gate certain races behind certain licenses.
Oh, I love that. So it's essentially like gating leveling up.
Yeah, exactly. So like you have to do the license test before you can go, and get like the international B license before you can go do some of the international courses. And there's an international A license. I love that. And so like and the stuff gets, to me, very particular. It gets very, very persnickety about what it asks you to do and how you have to do it and all this stuff. And there's weaving, I think, and there's like turns. I remember turns very specifically. There was like stopping distance was one of them. So it was just all sorts of really interesting details. And now I'm hoping that in my more adult years that I am able to kind of take more of that to heart, because I think as a kid I was like, yeah, I just got to get through this thing so that I can like go play other races and stuff. But Gran Turismo is really, it's almost like a little RPG.
Yeah.
Because they start you off with like a really bad car, and then you have to earn credits by doing races and by doing licenses and all this stuff so that you can buy better cars. Whereas in Forza Horizon, like we had like the super pack and like the Game Pass thing and all that stuff. So we just got like the super cars like right off the bat. And I never really felt like it was hard to get a car in Forza Horizon, but in Gran Turismo, you can really be like, oh, I want to work for this. And like, oh, I want to spend these credits on this upgrade for this car, this tuning and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's really more of a resource management thing in addition to the racing side of it.
Yeah. That's a little closer to Forza Motorsport, which I know I've played more of than you. It's a little closer to that, where it's a little bit more resource management heavy, starting off in really crappy cars, or not really crappy cars, but like not the super cars, right? In Forza Horizon, you like the first car you get is a supercar or whatever. And but no, Forza Motorsport is a lot more like that. You've got to start in the slower races, you've got to start in the cars that can't go as fast, things like that. But it doesn't have that testing element to it, which is cool. The one thing that I don't know yet that I'm trying to compare in my head to Forza Motorsport, how many different like tracks are there? Is there like a set of 30 tracks and that's really all you experience? Or is it kind of like Forza Horizon where like anywhere can be a track? Is it open world? Is it what's the, you know, I'll call it like meta game? Like,
it's definitely more like Forza Motorsport in that there's only a certain number of tracks, and then the variety of the game comes from the different requirements. So it'll be like, you know, American muscle cars or like Japanese cars or, you know, whatever. It's kind of like the classes in Forza Horizon, you know, where you can do all that stuff. I don't remember if the cars are even, I don't think they're graded in that simple point structure like they are in Forza Horizon. I think it's like horsepower, I think is the primary metric that they measure by. Maybe I might be getting that totally wrong. But it's definitely event based where it's like you go to a certain like event, you register for this event and it's on a certain course. You don't drive around in open world. There's a world map that you like navigate with a cursor.
Okay.
So that's how you kind of, it's essentially a menu. But the map thing, so this is a Gran Turismo 7 comes after Gran Turismo Sport, which was like a mostly esports, mostly online only kind of a game that people didn't really like. So everybody in the kind of fans of Gran Turismo side of things are very excited to see the world map come back. One of the silliest things that people are very excited about is you can get a car wash in the game, which I don't remember. I don't think it had any sort of gameplay like mechanic to it at all. It was just like a thing where it would then show you your car like shiny and pretty on like in 3D.
Okay.
It's very silly, but it was not in the previous game, and people are very excited that it's back and they all acknowledge, like everybody always acknowledges, like I know it's really silly, but like being able to like do a car wash.
Was it like a little Easter egg and people just want it back as a part of their experience?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's very, very random. It's car wash and something else are the two things that everybody like comments on. And I can't remember what the other thing is, but it's equally kind of silly.
All right. Well, you know, fans of any like, you know, series always have those things that you miss them when they're gone.
Yeah.
I will probably not buy it on release day, but I am very interested in your review of Gran Turismo. And for you to say, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I remembered. And if you say that, I will probably pick it up. Maybe not right away. I might do the potentially wait for a sale. I mean, I'll be waiting for a digital sale of some sort, but I may pick it up on sale. I would otherwise have not picked it up. This is just not a game series I follow. So your recommendation has gone a long way.
Great.
Okay, so I wrote a bunch of questions down to like talk about these release dates things. I think we've done enough talking like about some of the games. There's really only one question I really want to answer, and it's kind of feedback from someone. It's kind of like something that we picked up in one of our Discords, but we talked about, you know, February 8th and 11th and 18th and 22nd and 25th and 28th and 4th. This would not have been possible 20 years ago, because you had to go to the store and buy a game, which means they had to ship games to the store, which means there were logistics involved and all of that good stuff. Obviously, the day of the week just isn't a consideration anymore, is it? Like, is anyone saying, oh, I can only release a game on a Friday now? Because based on these dates, that's not the case anymore.
True. I think that the games are coming out on, but things come out on Fridays and Tuesdays, it feels like, if I had to characterize like just off the top of my head. And I think some of that is legacy kind of tradition, and some of it maybe is some level of marketing. I know that I am always frustrated when a game does not release, like when a game releases on like a Monday. I'm like, why? Why would you do this? Like, I work on Monday. I don't work on Sunday or Saturday. If you come out on Friday, then I'll pick your game up and play it on the weekend. If you come out on Monday, I'll just wait, and maybe I'll even forget about it and not pick it up the next weekend. Like,
what about Tuesday?
Tuesday, same kind of problem. Like, I feel like a lot of PC stuff happens on Tuesday, and like rollovers for like WoW resets on Tuesdays. Rocket League restarts on Wednesdays. I don't know. I feel like Tuesdays are slightly more acceptable, but
they're 1/7 more acceptable than a Monday.
I suppose. But I don't know. I think day of the week's not terribly important, although nobody ever seems to release something on a weekend, just out of interest.
Yeah, never on a week. Well, I mean, I think that's because, no one wants to work on a weekend, so you never release on a weekend. No one ever releases on a Wednesday or Thursday either, though. Thursday seems like a completely acceptable day for me to release on.
Yeah, Thursday would be a very reasonable. I would accept Thursday.
And no game that we have talked about is releasing on a Thursday. We have a Monday, we have Tuesdays, we have Fridays. Monday, Tuesday, Friday are the only days of the week that we have in all of the games that we talked about. I just know what's wrong with Wednesday. What's wrong with Thursday? Thursday's a great day. Tuesday and Friday seem to be the major things. I don't know that I care anymore. I don't know that I change my plans or ideas. I mean, I guess like to get hyped up for a game and then to be able to play it all weekend is both a good thing and a bad thing for me, because I am known to burn out real fast. And quite honestly, I will be totally honest. Lost Ark releasing on a Tuesday and requiring me to work the rest of the week and like meter my play only to a couple hours a day after work has probably been a really good thing, both for my health and for work, but also for my continued enjoyment in the game. Like if Lost Ark came out on a Friday, I would have played 40 hours in 3 days. And I don't know that that's healthy for the longevity of a game for me.
I don't think that's healthy for like your body either.
Sure, but like what I'm saying is like from a marketing standpoint or from a, retention standpoint or from all of those other statistics that a free-to-play MMORPG, are interested in, is Tuesday better than a Friday? And I think for me personally, I think it will lead to, or potentially has led to, me not burning out on Lost Ark right away. I think that my retention in Lost Ark, and again, I could be I'm obviously not the best person to do this, and I'm only a single data point, but I think my retention in Lost Ark is definitely going to be longer because I'm not burning out an entire weekend.
I can see that, but I think that certain kinds of games should come out on weekends, like single player, like for Horizon Forbidden West. Like, it's great that that's coming out on the weekend because I will probably play it on Saturday and Sunday that weekend for like 2 or 3 hours. Like, I'm not going to binge it. Like, I'm not going to play it for 10 hours straight. But what I tend to do with these kinds of games is play them like 3 hours at a time, a bunch, and then like 1 hour at a time a bit. And then I binge like 6 hours for the final stretch of it, like, and just power through to the end.
You do that with books too.
I do that with books. With books, I do, 30 minutes at a time for 3 months.
And then stay up until 3 a.m. to finish it.
Exactly. Yeah. No, Kindle being able to tell you how many percent and how much time is left in a book is dangerous. Although, I mean, in a physical book, you got pages, right? You notice that the stack of pages left on the right-hand side of the book is skinny.
And the story gets good. I think I think a lot of it is because you dig into the story, right? Like I do the same thing with books. The last, 10, 15% of a book, you're just like, I can't put it down. I can't, like, if you've gotten this far and the book is good enough for you to get that far, like the last 10% of the book are going to be great.
Yeah. Although the most recent book I did read, I think I did get through like the main climax scene, the action scene or whatever. And then I did put it down and just kind of plotted my way through the rest of it because there was a whole bunch of resolution and cleanup that I was just like, I'm not really going to stay up forever to read this.
I remember you doing it with Horizon Zero Dawn too, because I'd be like, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm playing Zero Dawn. Like, that's all I've been doing. Like, I'm near the climax of the story and I cannot stop.
Yeah. Well, I remember a certain Jason doing this with God of War. So,
God.
I remember I've played God of War every single day this week after work.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely, well, okay, so I definitely binge content. Absolutely. Like when I get into something, that's all I'm doing. I mean, I did it with Odyssey. I picked back up Assassin's Creed Odyssey recently to finish it, and I put probably 15 hours in 3 days, maybe 4 days. And that's just, I only play one game, or I only play one game for a significant amount of time, right? Like I choose where I want to put the time. And when I'm playing a game like that, I don't read. I don't, I don't play other games. I don't go out. I order in food rather than going out for food. Like when I get in that mode, I get in that mode. And it's been very good that Lost Ark has come out on a Tuesday.
I look forward to you being locked in your house for a full month playing both of the Horizon games back to back. That's going to be fun to watch.
Yes. 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 That is my plan.
Great. Well, hopefully we'll carve out a little bit of time to record P&A somewhere in the middle of there.
What games did we miss? I know we missed a couple. We actually chose to not put a couple on our list that just Chris and I neither of us are interested in at all. But let us know what else there is. Come join the Discord, all that good stuff. Discord.pnapodcast.com.
If you want to find any of our older episodes or read our show notes, we have a slightly design updated website at pnapodcast.com. That's P, the letter N, the letter A, podcast.com.
It looks good. It looks good. Share the show, please. We take a look at our statistics every now and then, and we always get really excited when one of the episodes does really well. And we would love for all of them to do very well, much better. Lots of people. Share the show. Thanks.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.
Okay, I'm level 30 in Lost Ark. Okay. So I'm like, I don't want to ruin anything in case you want to play it, because it's actually a pretty good, it's an okay story with really good cinematics. How's that?
Like full motion video cinematics, like rendered?
No.
Okay.
Like in-engine, in-game kind of like, the animation is surprisingly good, and like the way it moves the camera, and it's very cool. It's very good. Like it's not always an isometric top-down ARPG. Sometimes it like moves the camera, and you're always clicking to move and all of that. But it does a really good job of like making the world kind of dynamic in that, it's a big event when they take the camera from the top-down isometric to, some other angle, and you're just like, whoa. And it's really cool. And it like allows it to focus on certain pieces of the scenery or the whatever. It's very cool. They've done a really nice job with that. But I'm like really enjoying it, like more than I thought I would. I've learned some tricks that I didn't know during the beta. Particularly around movement. I've since I'm now playing it like consistently, and I'm like dedicating time, I'm now like binding certain things to my mouse, and it has revolutionized how I change the game. Just real quick, the use button is G.
What?
Like the interact button
G?
is G as in
gee whiz. Why did we pick this bad button?
Well, it's because they need 8 buttons for skills and 4 buttons for, they need the number row for items, and then they need 8 buttons for skills. So they use Q, W, E, R, A, S, D, F as your 8 skills. And then they use G for use or interact or literally everything. And I hate that.
So do you keep your hands? This is a hand placement question now.
Oh, yeah.
So are you like, it would feel like then the easiest way to do your hands would be almost like you would type on the home row with your pointer finger on F.
Thank you. Yes, it is so hard to retrain my hand. If I only have one hand on the keyboard, my hand automatically goes to my middle finger on the W, right? It's just like so natural.
Yeah, because that's correct.
Right, exactly. For a WASD movement. If I like even like remotely think about moving my right hand towards the keyboard, my left hand also instinctually moves towards the center of the keyboard to reset it on the home row, right? Mm-hmm. It's like it's It's crazy how automatic it is. It has been so difficult to retrain that my left hand has to stay on ASDF when my right hand goes to the mouse. But that is how I try to play.
Are you able to remap the buttons?
You are, but I am trying very hard to use the default mapping because that's what everyone does. And like in Dota and other things, they refer to, your Q, your E, your R. You can move your skills around, but typically builds have you put them in certain areas or, it's just, I'm trying very hard to stay with the default. You cannot remap the G key though. Why they let you remap other keys, but not the interact one is beyond me. I have no idea. But what I really wanted to do is in almost every game, my ultimate is Shift F, right? I've actually honestly done that in Dota. I've done that in a lot of things. Shift F is always my ultimate, and Control F is always my oh crap button. That's just always the way it is.
You can't see me, but I'm making faces at you right now because I'm very confused at this.
Well, Shift F is my ultimate, like biggest attack, and Control F is my oh crap button because if something goes wrong, you always have an oh crap button in games, right? Like it's your super heal or it's your invincibility for 3 seconds or it's your whatever it is. You always have an oh crap button, and that's my Control F. And so what I wanted to do was change my F skill to Shift F and change my interact button to F. You can't do it. I could remap my keyboard using outside software, but you can't do that in game. So I've put the G key on my mouse, and that is amazing. It's so good.
Remind me, how many buttons does your mouse have?
It has more than I use, so it doesn't really matter. But I've got the one where I just roll my thumb down, and it's like this really, really easy key to hit with my thumb just by it rests all the way along the bottom of my thumb. So it's super easy to hit. Mm-hmm. And you hit the G key constantly. You're just constantly interacting with stuff. You're constantly using, you're constantly mining. It's like the F key in Guild Wars, but times 5. So for it to be super easy to be on my mouse also means that I have to move my left hand less, which means I get to learn that hand placement a little bit more. I know the G key's right there, but it keeps me centered a little bit more. It's actually improved how much fun I'm having with the game. I also put a lot of the other stuff that's 7, 8, 9 and 0. My mount is 9. You just put it on your toolbar and it's 9. So I put that on my mouse too. Mm-hmm. Things like that just really improve my enjoyment of the game because it's easier to play. It's more fun to play.
I'm sure that some people will have some opinions on this, but for me, a mount in World of Warcraft, at least, I don't even have it on a button. I just click it every time that I need it, and it's in a certain spot on the screen. But I click it, and that's never really bothered me because there's a 3-second cast time on a mount in WoW, so it's not something that you just do and it just shows up. Yeah,
there's a 2-second cast time in Lost Ark, but still, I don't know. Most of my mounts in other games are on tilde.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's something that I can get to really easily, but it does require me to move my whole hand. I could do that. I could put it on tilde. I don't know. It's been good. It's been great. I don't want to talk about the story too much because I don't want to spoil it, and I'm not at endgame, so I can't really critique the endgame yet.
I think the real question that I have is, should I play this game?
I think you should wait.
Okay.
And here's why. Two reasons. One, they are struggling with the influx of players, and in a good way, in a very good way. They're doing the best they can, but people are either begging for a new MMO or they're looking for something, and the world of gaming has changed in that the first 2 weeks of a game are hugely, wildly popular. Even when it's paid, right? This game had 500,000 concurrent players in the first 2 hours.
And it was a paid early access.
And you had to pay $15 for that. And everyone knew that it was eventually coming out free to play.
In 3 days.
In 3 days. So people are begging for a game or something. I don't know what it is. And they're struggling. I don't know they anticipated that amount of people. The other really cool stat that I heard, they sold 1.5 million Founders Packs, right? Which means 1.5 million people could have played on the 8th.
Okay.
What I didn't know, and what I learned recently, is that 350,000 of them were purchased on the 8th.
So that means that those people saw it or heard about it or bought it on the release day.
On the release day. So if they were preparing for around 1 million to 1.2 million people, and the number of people playing was increased by 25% on top of that, or whatever, math, right? That just bought it on the first day, that didn't want to pre-order it, or it was still a pre-order because the game hasn't actually released yet. It was an astounding percentage of people purchased it and immediately installed it and played it. So they're struggling. They're making some split decisions right now. They actually just, as we're recording this a couple of hours ago, disabled the ability for new people to create characters on the server that I'm on.
Oh no.
So exactly. And they said indefinitely, and I think they're riding out this storm, right? They're riding out this crazy influx of players. So that is reason number one, I say to wait. Reason number two, let's make sure it passes the season 2 weeks, right? I think it will. I think I'm enjoying this enough. I already want to play an alt. Like, I know I want to try an alt. So I think it's going to get past the 2 weeks. If you like Path of Exile, if you like Diablo, a lot of people are actually comparing it to MOBAs and RTSs because it plays a little bit more like a MOBA than it does Path of Exile. It's very, very similar in that way a little bit. I think you should try it, but I don't think there's any rush to.
I think that's good because February is busy enough.
For everyone else out there, if you want to try it, I'm on the Regulus server, which is currently locked for new players. But if it becomes unlocked, I'm on the Regulus server. You can also play dungeons and PvP and other content with other people in the same region. So I'm in US East. So we can play some content together. We cannot play all content together if you're on a different server in the same region. But yeah, I'm on the Regulus in US East.
Good to know. I'll see you in Guild Wars.